Hello and welcome to the Bonehead Championship. I'm Ben from the Bonehead Podcast and this is the Game 4 preview. Welcome back. Okay, so we completed the first 3 games of the first round. This is the last game. We've introduced 6 of the 8 teams, so it's down to the final 2 teams. And we do have a bit of a stunty cup on our hands here. So this will be game 4 of 12 of the regular season. After that, the top teams will go through to the playoffs and we will determine our second Bonehead Championship champion. So the way we planned out the rounds were a mixture of when will the teams be painted and what matchups do we think would be quite fun. And we went straight for the Stunty Cup in the first round. And we're going to see Gnomes versus Goblins. Now we've seen Gnomes a lot of times on the channel. Brand new team. We wanted to absolutely dive in and show as many games of them as possible. We're going to be playing proper league rules now. And they're going to be facing against a brand new team painted by Warhannam, our Goblin team. So Ian Warhannam is going to be here and it's going to be his first game in the championship. He's been on the channel a lot of times and he's going to be running the Goblins that he himself has painted, some of Brute Fun's finest work, and Bloodtithe is going to be piloting the Gnomes again. I mean, he's piloted them several times on the channel and played against them as well. So it's going to be an interesting one. Ian loves Goblins. He's played a lot of Goblins in Blood Bowl and every other game imaginable. So it's going to be a good matchup. But let's have a look at the rosters, and starting in the blue corner, say blue, it really should be purple, it's the Bad Town Bombers. So as ever with these teams, we put a note out on Patreon and our YouTube members to name the players, and we've got some interesting ones. We've got Hurl and Chunks, the Funk Brothers. I know that Ian Hannam is going to love that as well. Mr. Warhannam loves a bit of funk. Yep, Hurl and Chunks. Love it. Proper good names for trolls. So, 2 trolls. We've got Oingo McBoingo, the Pogo. We've got Crumpet, the Fanatic, named by Brute Fun himself. We've got Pick Muckini, Pat McAfee basically, the Hooligan, okay, good dirty player, going to be kicking player like that. Jazan Sawneys, Looney, the Chainsaw. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Goblin linemen as well, and we've got some cracking names for these guys. We've got Grotface Nose Picker, Snot Gob Dirt Eater, Johnny Groton, Painton Mansting, Odell Bedlam Jr. and Sheldon. Now, I like the inclusion of Sheldon because Ben hates the Big Bang Theory because he has no soul. So him playing against Sheldon is going to be quite entertaining here. Right, the team has also got 3 rerolls, 1 dedicated fans, and a treasury of 100k. Do you know what? I think we need to adjust that now. They need to take that dedicated fans. Do they want dedicated fans? I don't know. We'll leave that as it is for now. Basically, they're running it at 900 TV. So against a normal league team, you'd be getting 50 to 100k in your first match. And as teams develop, the Goblins want to kind of make the most of that spare TV, that petty cash, to take some bribes. Because this team's got 12 players, but 2 of them are secret weapons. So the Looney and the Fanatic are both going to be gone after 1 drive. So this team is already certain to start drive 3 with 10 players. And that's without any natural losses for Goblins. So against a normal team, they'd be able to take a bribe, maybe 2 bribes, and be able to kind of force that extra drive with the, I mean, the Looney's awesome. I love the Fanatic, but that Chainsaw is going to do some serious work against most teams, let alone a Gnome team where the average armor is 3. So that's going to be pretty good fun. So the Goblins are going to be fighting uphill. We all love an underdog team, and that's the cool thing about the Stunty Cup, that they're both underdogs. And it's suboptimal for kind of both teams. They do both want to use a bit of petty cash. They do both want to use a little bit of inducements, especially Goblins, to get those bribes. So it's going to be an interesting one. Ian running this. We've got 2 trolls. This could come down, I think, the performance of the Goblin team here. It's going to come down to how good an opener they get. If they can receive, I think the Goblin team here can put on some serious pounding. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. It's a good all-round roster. It's probably not the best one for Goblins, but we wanted to get some of the fun stuff to the pitch. And they're going to be taking on the Gnomes, the Badmore Burrow Lords. So BT is going to be piloting this team. We've got a TV of 960, so the Goblins are going to get 60k. Okay, that's good. That'll be a bribe then. Okay, we've got Elmski and Girthentrude, the 2 Altern Forest Treemen. We've got Gonk and Honk, the 2 Gnome Beastmasters. Love it. We've got Baba Naga, Danny Brown, the 2 Gnome Illusionists. We've got Trash and Panda, the 2 Woodland Foxes. We've got Huff Puff, Coley Dan, and Gnomepolian as well. So 12 on this roster, 4 rerolls, 5 DF. So this comes in at 960, 4 rerolls, no treasury. They spent the 40k instead of having the extra gnome on the DF. Right, I like that, especially for a short league like this one. Because you're pretty likely to be generating enough cash to start buying gnomes. What you've got to hope is in this first game that you don't lose any of your positionals. Although they are all cheap enough at 55, 50k to be purchased after the first game. Dedicated fans of 5, so let's assume 1 touchdown. Let's assume average dice, we're going to get 7. So yeah, you're probably actually going to be able to just straight up afford to replace one of the positionals if they need to. The Woodland Foxes, I think, might die. That armor is so low and they've become such a really good target that I think they're going to get gonned significantly. So it's always tough coming against goblins no matter what team you're running. The fact that we went with the 4 rerolls instead. Oh no, we do have the Apothecary. Okay, fine. Right, panic over. The team does have the Apothecary, which means this team is just going to be able to just add a little bit extra team value to get the kind of extra gnome. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 players. Is that right? 12 players and the Apothecary. That's a good bench. That's a good bench. So the 2 trees to do the smacking, the gnomes to support them. The trees versus the trolls in this matchup are going to be a good one. That strength 6 against strength 5 is pretty brutal. And the Gonk and Honk lads are going to be there to help with that guard to make sure the trees can make some profitable blocks. Now, if Ian puts goblins on the line, that is just murder city for the treemen. But likewise, if Ben puts gnomes on the line, the trolls should eat. Now, the disadvantage of the trolls is that they don't have loner. They have loner, whereas the forest treemen do not. So the treemen are going to be able to make decent blocks, and if it all goes wrong, Ben's going to be able to use one of the 4 rerolls to kind of save it. Whereas if the trolls go bad, I think we're looking at, what, loner 3+ for the trolls, and only 3 rerolls on the goblin team. It's going to be a little less forgiving. The difference here, though, and I think this is a massive, massive call out, the gnomes are just so much less resilient than the goblin team. Those woodland foxes just die as soon as you look at them, and you've got a whole bunch of gnomes. I mean, they're all the same strength as goblins, but the armor being less and the complete lack of the dodge skill is just going to hurt them. So goblins are going to be able to potentially do some muscle hitting here. This game is going to come down to how well the gnome beastmasters survive, because getting that beastmaster in place is going to make your gnome strength 3. Strength 3 versus a strength 2 goblin is absolutely winning, and you've got wrestle to kind of save you from a disastrous hit as well. Goblins, though, faster, tougher, and having that dodge skill is going to give them maneuverability. And then you've got the secret weapons. The Fanatic is just going to be throwing so many dice. Ooh, okay. I was just thinking, like, and the lack of dodge is going to mean that the Fanatic is going to be able to do some serious damage here. But actually, this could be horrific for the Fanatic here. Crumpet could stack it because he just has to fail into a situation where wrestle is the only outcome. Although, to be fair, that would be a disaster against all opponents, so that doesn't really matter. So wrestle's not going to be the undoing. The lack of dodge is just going to mean that the... and with strength 2, the Fanatic should be making a ton of hits. And it is actually strong enough to 2-die tree. I think the Looney here, though, is going to go to town. So I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see a good blitz or 2 from the chainsaw. I mean, there's some really vulnerable targets on the gnome roster. And I know, you know, Ian and Ben are they both get the game. They both love a little bit of YOLO play because it's fun, right? But actually, they both get it. And if we see a Looney had an open field blitz on one of the Beastmasters, I think that's going to take it. I don't think the Trickster's going to do much in this game other than just mess up some maths. I don't think that's going to be massively like a massive deciding factor. But I do think that the Looney attacking either one of the Beastmasters is going to be fantastic. I mean, even though the Beastmaster's got boosted armor of 8+, That's what, a 5? You need to roll a 5 on 2d6 to get an armor break. And they're stunty as well, so you get that extra benefit of a likely knockout. So Looney is going to be doing some serious work, and the team is going to have a bribe. This is going to be a really interesting match. You've got Trolls versus Trees. Trees technically win, but you've got a whole bunch of cool stuff on the Goblins that might give them the kind of bash edge, whereas the Gnomes have got those Foxes. I think this is going to come down to whether the Fanatic stacks it or whether Sawneys, the Looney, the chainsaw lad, gets in some good hits. And the other thing you've got to kind of be aware of is pick Mucky Knee with a bit of dirty player, being able to put the boot in on any gnome. +1. +1 when you're hitting armor 7+ or 6. If a fox goes down within 6 squares of pick Mucky Knee, that's a 5+ armor break. So you've got 5+ with the Ulion on a fox, on putting the boot in. You've got the chainsaw doing 5+ on basically everybody, 4+ basically everybody. That chainsaw is going to eat. And then you've got a whole bunch of normal goblins, and normal goblins are brilliant. You've got 3 rerolls on this team. You've got dodge, you've got edge 3+, so it's 3++, anywhere you want to go. Speed 6 is pretty decent, and then you've got Oingo McBoingo, the pogo there at movement 7 as well to be your little bit of fast. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see Oingo McBoingo play a bit of a safety role and kind of take it one-on-one to the foxes in the backfield. Fox edge 2+ is going to be pretty good though, but oh, this is really cool. I've not seen this matchup. I've not seen enough of goblins in this edition because they've had a tough time, but this, where I think we've got a game where there are 2 teams actually playing Blood Bowl here, not your normal kind of stunty like, oh, I've got a stunty team. Really, what team are you running? I'm running Griff. It's not that. This is actual gnome players playing against goblin players, and that's going to be a proper bash. Okay, I have got myself successfully hyped for this. I cannot wait to see what Warhammer has done with the team. Brute Fun sculpts are exquisite, and old Warhammer knows how to paint a few things. So we're going to see 2 beautiful stunty teams. We're going to see Ben with the knowledge of playing with and against the gnomes. Those trash pandas, trash and panda, the woodland foxes, and just a whole bunch of wrestle there and jump up. It's going to be really interesting. I think goblins are just going to feel a lot faster and a lot burlier here. And the chainsaw is going to... You know what? I just did the top 5 players to cheer for. I did not put the chainsaw in there. And that was a massive fail on my part, because we are all going to be cheering for the chainsaw. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll be back with more Blood Bowl content very soon. I am genuinely very excited for this match. Cool. See you Monday. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the channel even further, please like and subscribe. It really does help us out. Or come join us on YouTube Members or in Patreon, where you can get exclusive access to some content, some loot, early access to basically everything we do, as well as regular competitions. Or you can pick up some Bonehead Podcast loot either on our website at boneheadpodcast.com. We've got the Dungeon Bowl things, we've got tokens and stuff like that, or on our Spreadshirt site as well. Everything you do just helps us make more content and hopefully do it of better quality. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Happy blocking.